Oi, oi, all right. How's it going? I'm Grant, your you. This is the Doodle Review here today with another edition of Sound Bites. It's our series where we offer a shallow paddle rather than a deep dive into a number of albums. The theme today, or how we're choosing to beat the restaurant analogy to death this time, is dance floor desserts. And on the menu, we got a bit of KTRANADA, some Peggy Gou, Ibibio Sound Machine, Sinkane, NewbTwist, and Salute. Let's get into it with KTRANADA. So this, the third album from R&B meets house meets electronic producer KTRANADA, has taken a long time to get here. His second album and Grammy-winning release Bubba came out way back in 2019, and although we did get a collab with Amine last year called K-Tramine, it was pretty lackluster and didn't really deliver on the summer aesthetic, the artwork, and K-Tranada's previous work kind of promised. I listened back to 99.9% to get a bit of context before putting this review together, and was instantly reminded of the charm of that very homemade feeling R&B house crossover that broke the artist back in 2016. And although each subsequent album has contained flashes of this sound, nothing, not even the otherwise well-accomplished Bubba, has really captured the magic of that first release to my mind. And as a listener, chasing that magic kind of sums up the feeling I have while enjoying this record, to be honest. Timeless is a mammoth 21 tracks split unevenly across two discs, the first being 17 of those tracks, with a random 4 additional tacked on the end as disc 2 for some unknown reason, because I don't hear much of a discernible difference in style or tone, which to me would really be the only reason you'd want to split the track list up in that way. Call You Up and Dance, 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 Dance are cool examples of the old school homemade warm sampled sounds with squashed distorted drums and crunchy high pass synths, but they're scattered among some Dilla-esque hip hop joints like Spit It Out and more luxe sounding R&B jams like Still. KTRANADA definitely has the versatility to pull off these different sounds as a producer, but creating a super engaging, captivating 21 track, hour plus experience that marries all of those is a tough task, and one that to me isn't quite achieved here. There's definite highlights, and this is a cool and highly listenable album for sure, but the tonal shifts and uneven moods across such a long track list hold it back, I reckon. This one I'm going to put in the decent pile. Next, we're going to talk about Peggy Gou's I Hear You. This is the long-awaited album from Peggy Gou, a revered DJ, semi-underground, but kind of big among people that are into club music. You know, she's been headlining the dance tent at festivals for a number of years at this point. And this is her first LP of original music. And it's probably worth putting the word original there in air quotes, not to cast any shade or diminish what Goo has achieved here, but more because, like a great DJ set itself, each song on this record feels like an amalgamation of lived in, familiar parts, whether that's Back to One with everyone's favorite kind of Space Jam 90s dance organ, or the 7 seconds kind of 90s duet of All That, and that super familiar organ riff of the Lenny Kravitz featuring I Believe in Love Again. The biggest tune here is the fast-paced Euro house track. It goes na 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 na. Not only does it have an earworm of a vocal hook, but it gives us a faux guitar, a keyboard with a pitch bend that echoes ATB's mega 2000s hit Till I Come. This is definitely the record's peak, and it never quite scales those heights again, but every subsequent track is still enjoyable. And because Goo is endlessly, not quite sampling, but I'll say quoting styles and hits from dance music of the past 30 years, it's always comforting, even if a little derivative. Goop does prove that she has tons of originality to give, with the jungle meets dub of saucy Peggy Gou that also brings in traditional Southeast Asian instrumentation into the mix. However, that's not really the objective of the record. What Goo has set out to achieve, and what I believe she has accomplished, is to envision the album format as a DJ set, playing only hits that just didn't happen to already exist. This is a really fun album. What it lacks in originality, it makes up for in succinct, well-executed, reliable bangers, and I'm going to give this one a great. Next up is Ibibio Sound Machine and their fifth album, Pull the Rope. I was turned on to Ibibio Sound Machine and their fusion of classic electro and Afrobeat meets disco back in 2017 with their record UIE. And since then, have always been excited to try out whatever they release. Led by the vocals of Eno Williams, Ibibio Sound Machine are an 8-piece Afrobeat band based out of London, but with members pulling heavy influence from their Nigerian and Ghanaian backgrounds. Grooves have always been central to why I enjoy this group's music so much, and this is consistent on their latest record. But what I found lacking has been progression on a song by song basis, as well as a slightly subdued overall vibe in service of chasing some more dramatic or emotional moments. Pull the Rope, the song itself, certainly starts things in the right mood, but almost immediately this lack of progression is proven, with this track really just being more of a vibe and less of a song. And this gives way to Got to Be Who You Are, that balances its message of positivity with an infectious acid house bass line, but yet again the track fails to take us anywhere beyond just great rhythm. Certain tracks, like Fire, really display this weakness, with a scratchy bass riff that's novel but gives the band no runway to build anything. Despite the shortfalls, though, in arrangements, there are some bangers that break through, like the icy synths arpeggios of Mama Say and the cool dubby horns of Let My Yes Be Yes. Certainly moments to enjoy, but on the whole, this one just didn't really measure up to the high points in Ibibio's discography. And for me, I'm sad to say this one's mid. Sticking with the African theme, we're going to go to a new artist for me, Sinkane, and his new record, We Belong. Sinkane is a band led by multi-instrumentalist Ahmed Galab, a Sudanese-American songwriter, releasing now his 8th record with this group. And this is one where I just saw the album artwork combining a tropical vibe with a faded, scratched up 70s aesthetic and figured I just should definitely give it a try. And I was pleased to find a group that offer a great complement to Ibibio Sound Machine. These guys play in a similar Afrobeat meets disco field, but they're simultaneously a little bit more expansive instrumentally, while also just a little crunchier. There's a touch of rock attitude to the performances here. The record kicks off incredibly strong with Come Together, a track with a killer funk guitar riff that's backed by vocoders that give the song a Daft Punk or even a Earth, Wind and Fire Let's Groove feel. Another Day follows up with a subtle mellow dub flavor, even though the chorus is equally as energetic as the opening. There are a few moments where things get emotionally heavier and more earnest, and sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. I find the mellow dancehall meets R&B of Invisible Distance a little corny, but the same emotions in the soul and funk tones of Everything Is Everything goes down much better. We Belong has another great central riff, and How Sweet Is Your Love is a huge disco track where you can really hear the entire band, particularly the vocalists, just really enjoying themselves. And it's an energy that's perfectly transferred to you as a listener. The record can be a bit happy clappy, a bit corny, and if you're a cynic like me, you'll probably need to swallow that for like 40 minutes and just drink the Kool-Aid. But if you can do that, you'll find a very fun and deeply engaging throwback disco dancehall dub Afrobeat mega mix. It's going in the decent pile for me. Keeping well on the Afrobeat theme, let's also talk about NewbTwist and their new album Find Your Flame. NewbTwist are a 9-piece fusion band from Leeds in the UK, bringing together Afrobeat, jazz, and R&B. And on this album, they've really pulled out all of the stops to create an exciting and consistent album experience. Joining the band full-time for this album is Sheffield-based vocalist Aziza J, who provides fantastic vocals throughout, adapting to any style, be it the smooth R&B sound of the opener Battle Isn't Over, the mellow disco of the Nile Rodgers featuring Lights Out, or even the patois needed for a bit of dancehall on So Me Stay. Towards the end of the record, there are some moments that don't sound as good as I imagine maybe they did during the writing process. The central riff in Find Your Flame recalls a one-arm bandit slot machine hitting triple sevens. That sound screams of a little nugget that's been stumbled upon when doing something else or writing something else that someone in the band feels compelled to write a song around, but ultimately the idea of it is maybe better than the reality. It's a really minor point though. The album is really enjoyable from start to finish. They're a band I really want to be able to catch live at some point, and I'm going to give this one a great. Finally, we're going to round this episode out with a review of the latest album from Salute called True Magic. Similar to Sinan, this was another where I saw the album cover, picked up the summery vibes, and just figured whatever this was, I probably needed some of it in the rotation, as we then ironically descended into one of the wettest summers here in the UK. Nonetheless, this record is a really cool and uplifting pop house club fusion that I strongly recommend checking out if you're in the mood for something light and funky. If this year you've been into the latest from, say, Justice and any of the others in this episode, Salute, an artist born in Vienna, Austria, but who came up in Manchester, England, is someone you should have on your radar. The whole thing is kind of based around this kind of PlayStation or arcade racing game aesthetic, which as a child of the 90s and 2000s is so cool to hear starting to come into the foreground and having a bit of a moment of legitimate appreciation, just as the 8-bit or 16-bit video game soundtracks of the 80s have had before. This choice really adds kind of a vibrancy to the already bouncy songs. But there are some weird production choices here too. The slightly off-time bass on the Rina Sawayama featuring Saving Flowers, and the odd use of backing vocals that are just a little obstructive in the mix on Maybe It's You. But, you know, while those might be a little distracting to a critical nerd like me, the songs themselves still achieve their chosen objective, just to be a real good time. Some of the songs start to bleed together at a certain point later in the record, but on the whole, this album is decent, bordering on great if you're in the party spirit, and Salute is definitely an artist I'm going to be keeping an eye on in the future. That's 6 records now, so it's most definitely time to knock it on the head. And all of this has just been what I think. What are you lot saying? What do you reckon? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Check out some other related reviews down in the description, and if you can be asked to do all that, then you may as well subscribe. Stick around, share some thoughts, show some love, or just wholesome abuse in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Other than that though, all that remains to say is take care. Cheers, mate. Mind how you go.